Trinidad and Tobago, what we've witnessed in the last few days is international relations dwarfism. If we look at the commentators in the last few days who have come out in support of Venezuela and against the position of Kamla Persad Bissessar, what they have exhibited is international relations midgetry in terms of their thinking and their outlook. And not only that, in terms of their misrepresentation of the facts. First of all, David Abdullah, Kamla Persad Bissessar never gave the United States carte blanche. What she said explicitly was, should the Venezuelan government attack our CARICOM neighbor, Guyana, that she would allow access, or she would have access given to the United States. If there was any signal of CARICOM unity, that is it. That proves, or as a matter of fact, this proves all of you commentators who are saying that we are not aligned with CARICOM. As a matter of fact, this should be a signal to CARICOM that they should have adopted this position. Also, there is no way that Kamla Persad Bissessar is succumbing or surrendering our sovereignty to the United States. Kamla Persad Bissessar, even while in opposition, stated clearly that Venezuela's Maduro had to go because of his position. It is very clear that we made our position patently against the government of Maduro, and that we were firmly with any regime change that occurred democratically. Also, what is this abject failure to recognize the nuance of international relations? We are a country that was decimated by the Rowley and PNM government. Decimated. $500 billion spent in 10 years without anything to show for it. What we had was transportation hubs, like cow sheds. What we had was a decimation of Petrotrin, our oil and gas economy. Everything was just a big puppy show and conga line with nothing concrete to show for it. With $500 billion to spend, that was spent. Our communities, inner cities, rural areas were decimated, totally abandoned by the PNM government. So we, faced with a situation, Kamla Persad Bissessar knows where we have to be, on what side we have to be. This is not a case of checkers. This is chess we are playing. Donald Trump will pursue whatever line he wants to pursue. We have to make sure that you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, that there's a buffer between you and what has occurred in Haiti. All the countries are surrounding us in the Caribbean that have been decimated by abject, corrupt leaders like Keith Rowley and the PNM. That is what we have to take care of. You are the taxpayers that put Kamla Persad Bissessar in power to make sure that you are protected. And that is exactly what she's doing. The United States is our largest trading partner. We cannot ignore that fact. We cannot subject the people of Trinidad and Tobago to what Rowley has subjected you to in the last 10 years. That cannot happen. That cannot happen and will not happen. Also, what are these hypocritical statements made by Rowley and Motley about the Caribbean being a zone of peace? Is it a zone of peace in all those communities in Barbados that are experiencing skyrocketing levels of crime and murder? In Trinidad and Tobago under the PNM for the last 10 years the same? Is that a zone of peace, or are you all concerned of a zone of peace just to attract tourism or for the international press? What about your internal peace? What about your regional peace? Talking about this being a zone of peace. It cannot be a zone of peace when our societies are in turmoil, when our inner cities are in turmoil, when we have alarming rates of social inequity and poverty. So I think Motley and Rowley need to revisit their narrative. As we know, they are more concerned with their international profile than they are with their domestic profile. So Kamla Persad Bissessar has stated quite clearly that for it to be a zone of peace, we have to arrest what causes internal discord. And that is the transnational drug trade. That is the amount of rising gang crime. That is what we are concerned about. And that is what Kamla Persad Bissessar addresses here by encouraging the United States, who has stated quite clearly what their intentions are. All of you speculating about regime change, we'll see if that is their intention. But we, as a smaller trading partner to the United States, we have in international relations, we have to consider realpolitik. And that is what she has done. So all of you who are international relations midgets, dwarfs, like Amy Brown, Keith Rowley, and all of you commentating, read a book. Read a book. Trinidad and Tobago, love in the house. All the time.